Tony D and Little Joan in the background. This is a Screenwriter's Rant on White Noise starring Adam Driver. It's about a family. It's based on a novel. It's about all I got from this trailer. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So it's about this family, and I don't know, it's a very extended family. The couple, the parents, this is their fourth marriage together. They're together. This is their fourth marriage. Okay. Their kid is the youngest one, and their other kids are from previous marriages. So they had this bizarre family. I find it a little bizarre. I mean, I get it. You're remarried once, maybe twice. Four remarries. It's some kind of like weird satire on American life. I think it takes place in the past. It's kind of hard to tell. Seems like it takes place, I'm going to say, early 80s maybe. And then, I don't know, their family, and then a disaster happens and they're forced to evacuate. And then it's about Adam Driver trying to keep the family safe. And the kids sort of almost barely care. And I don't know, there's just some scenes in churches. There's crazy scenes of people being killed. Here's a scene that takes place in AMP with people who used to bag groceries. Here he is being a preacher. I don't know if that's his job. I don't know. It feels like it's trying too hard to be a satire. December 30th. Has anyone read this book? Is it good? Feels like it might be an old book. Let me read the synopsis. Maybe it'll be a little clearer. At once hilarious and horrifying, lyrical and absurd, ordinary and apocalyptic, White Noise dramatizes a contemporary American's family attempts to deal with the mundane conflicts of everyday life while grappling with the universal mysteries of love, death, and the possibility of happiness with an uncertain world. Based on the book by Don DeLillo, written for the screen and directed by Noah Baumbach, produced by Noah Baumbach and David Hyman, produced by Uri Singer. That doesn't really clear up anything. I don't know what this is about. I guess it's supposed to be a satire on America. I don't know why it takes place in the 80s. I assume that's when the book was written. Seems a little old to be doing this. You know, it seems a little dated. I'm not sure who's going to relate to this. I mean, I'm a 70s, 80s kid, but even watching this, I didn't feel very connected to it. I grew up in this era. I recognize, they're playing Mousetrap, hooray, and they're all about TV. Yeah, I remember that. And all the furniture's old, and the clothes are old. So what? People are smoking, hooray! So what? What's the story about? I don't understand what the hell the story is about. I really don't. I mean, I watched the trailer now twice. I'm not... I guess the story is... they're saying they're dealing with ordinary thing in life. Back in the 70s and early 80s, I don't think it was ordinary to be married 4 times. No way. No way. Some people were that way, yeah. There were some people. Man, that was rare. That was super rare. And that was usually a couple that had no kids. Because they were constantly, get married. This feels more like a 2022 situation to me. Sorry, my phone's blowing up. What the hell? No, stop tweeting. So I'm not... Doesn't feel very 80s. Um, I mean, the hair's there, the cars are there, the clothes are there, the situation kind of, but I'm not really getting what the story is. I guess they're forced to evacuate. They don't feel very suburban. It feels very disjointed right from the get-go. If it had been a more, I don't know, suburban family, oh, this is their house and he's a pastor and blah, blah, blah. And then their lives are disrupted. Like, that's the way I would have structured it. Like, give me some stability in the trailer. Don't just start with chaos right out the gate, because it feels chaotic right out the gate, right? It's already chaotic that he's dealing with his fourth marriage, kids from 3 different marriages at least. Oh, yeah, and then on top of that, he's got to evacuate his home and save his family. Like, half these kids aren't his. So, I get it. Okay, so he's a good guy. He's going to protect them or whatever, and he's a pastor too. What pastor is married 4 times? Come on. That's not a guy who's religious. Maybe that's a dream sequence. Maybe that's not really, the pastor. And I don't understand who Don Cheadle is. I feel like they make these movies just so they could do these things, right? They can dress people up in old clothes, give them all the hairstyles, and feel good about themselves. Oh, remember this? Oh yeah, this is old. People used to live this way. Can you imagine? That's what I feel like the '80s has become. Oh God, remember the '80s? Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. People were insane. No, I was there. I don't, yeah, the clothes were bad. The hair was bad. The hair for women was bad, ladies, in the '80s. But who wears their jacket in a store like this? Again, it doesn't feel like, and everything's so bright and colorful. And the supermarket thing just feels off. It's like too '80s. It feels like the whole movie's trying too hard. It's the only way I could describe it. I don't even know what it's trying to do. I think it's supposed to be a satire. I think. I didn't see one funny thing in it. It's just confusing and weird and off. I mean, there's kind of a mildly amusing line towards the end, but... And I don't know what Don Cheadle's function is in the movie. I don't know if he's their friend or what. I guess he's a friend. I don't know what this movie is. Anybody read the book? First act, they set up this weird family. They're weird to me. In the '80s or late '70s, and it just feels chaotic right out the gate. And this, I think, is the beginning of the movie. Then they go home and there's a terrible disaster and they're forced to evacuate. And Adam Driver is kind of a put-upon husband that just is constantly trying to catch up with his own life. And things just get worse from there as they escape the toxic fumes or whatever happens to the town. And then they end up camping in the woods, I guess. With these kids, and he has to keep it together. It doesn't feel... Yeah, it's not coming together for me. Like, it should have been either a average family from that time period that then has to deal with, not being in their house. Maybe they're homebodies, and then being at, having to live off the land is like crazy. Although you wouldn't need to set that in the '80s either. Or it's this crazy, chaotic family. They've been married 4 times. He's a pastor. They're living in the '80s, and they've got this crazy life. I don't know. The two together, it seems like too much. Seems like they're piling on all this stuff for some sort of message that I'm just not seeing here in the trailer. This trailer really needed a voiceover, I think, with Adam Driver explaining what the F is going on. Maybe Don Cheadle. Maybe he's the narrator. Somebody should have been narrating this. There's just too much going on. It's busy. It's a busy trailer. Do I want to see this movie? Will I see it? No. I will not see this movie. No way. This is way... It feels like it's pandering towards me as an 80s kid. And I'm not connecting with it, and I should. If anyone watching this should be connected to it, should be a guy like me who grew up in that area. I should be looking at this going, yeah, you nailed the 80s. Instead, I'm looking at it going, no, that's not it. Missed it. This feels like, I don't know, a kid in their 20s wrote this about the 80s. Now, maybe the book's good. Maybe they didn't follow the book. Maybe this all falls on the set designer, the director, and the producer. I don't know. It all feels, even the jackets, they're just trying too hard. Just trying too hard. You know what a lot of people wore in the 80s? Stuff from the 70s, because that's what we just came out of. Just like you're wearing stuff now, it's not from like right now. You're wearing stuff from like 5-10 years ago. Because that's the way people buy clothes. They have clothes for a while. They don't just have them the year. So, you know, where's the guy in an old army jacket? Yeah, that was a thing back in the day. Oh yeah, people loved it. There was always somebody wearing an army jacket, and then they put patches on it or whatever. Where's that guy? Where's the patches guy? You know, it's just you're trying too hard. That's all I can say about it. Is Adam Driver good in this? Feels like they're wasting his talent on this. I know he's a decent actor, I've heard. Seems wasted in this. Don Cheadle's starting to annoy me. He was good in a few things. Now, like, I don't know, he's in movies that this is another movie he just doesn't seem right for. He didn't seem right for War Machine. He doesn't seem right for this. I don't know why they're casting him in these roles. Why isn't he like more dramatic roles? Like he to me could have been like Robert De Niro back in the day, when Robert De Niro would only take critically acclaimed movie kind of roles. Now he's taking all these mainstream roles, and it's kind of feels like it's beneath his talent. But I mean, I guess you got to put my food on the table. I'm not knocking him for it, but it feels like he stepped down into that too early in his career. Seems like he could be doing the leading man roles, you know? Like, why isn't he getting a lead in some dramatic movie about a pianist or I don't know, a gangster or something? He's playing, I don't know. I don't even know what he is in this, quite frankly. Adam Driver's the lead. He's just, and it's not funny. It feels like it should be funny with the bright colors and the clothes and everything and the nostalgia. It feels like I should be getting some laughs, and I'm just like, where's the funny? So yeah, white noise. Not really working for me. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Oh, she came out of her bag. Good to see you, Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. Next up, I will be at River City Comics this Saturday from 12 to probably leaving early at 3:30, because I got to go to Montclair right after that. Montclair Brew, Books and Brew from 5 to 8. That's all on Saturday. And Monday at the Cherry Hill Library. We'll see you in the next one.